Okay. Hello, everyone. Jai Jinendra. This is Pragya Jain once again in front of you from ISJ's International School for Jain Studies. And we are back here again with the first lecture this year on lecture series on technology. And this is the 26th lecture in the series. Today we have a lecture on Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī, Personification of Jain Principles and Message. This will be delivered by um, Professor Maruti Nandan Prasad Tiwari, who doesn't know his name in the field of Jain art, architecture, and iconography. And to chair this session, we have Professor Prasad Joshi
Namaskar.
from Deccan College. And to begin the session, first I would request our research associate Harshit Mishra to come ahead and recite Mangalacharan.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I request you all, please join your hand. Then I recite the Namokara mantra. Namo Arihantanam. Namo Siddhanam. Namo Vairiyanam. Namo Vajjayanam. Namo Loye Sab Sahunam. Eso Panchanamokaro. Sab Pavapanasano. Mangalanam cha Savesim. Padhamam Havai Mangalam. Padhamam Havai Mangalam. Thank you.
Thank you, Harshit. Thank you so much. And now I would request our director, Dr. Shunedra Pandey, to welcome you all formally and introduce our speakers and chairperson to us. Dr. Pandey.
Namaskar, Jai Jinendra. I welcome you all to the 26th online lecture by International School for Jain Studies. You all are aware that today's topic is Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī, Personification of Jain Principles and Message. And to chair this session, we have a renowned Indologist and Sanskritist, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Deccan College, Professor Prasad Joshi ji. Professor Prasad Joshi ji has been serving at Deccan College in many capacities. He has been Pro Vice Chancellor of Deccan College previously, head of the Department of Sanskrit and Lexicography, and the most important, last but not least, he is the general editor of Sanskrit Encyclopedic Dictionary. So, sir, we are very fortunate to have you in this session as the chairperson. On behalf of myself, on behalf of ISJS, I welcome you to this virtual platform of ISJS.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
To speak on the topic, we have a world-renowned art historian, a signature personality in the field of Indic art history, Professor Maruti Nandan Tiwari ji. Professor Tiwari is chairman of Indian Art History Congress. He is one of the recipients of Tagore Fellow, Nehru Trust Fellowship, and he is actually former emeritus professor of at Department of History of Art, and previously he served as I think he has headed 3 times the same department, and he is associated with ISGS for a long time. He is our academic advisor, and he has contributed through his research papers and scholarly books. He has authored many masterpiece works, particularly on Jain art and iconography. So we are very fortunate to have Professor Maruti Nandan Tiwari with us as the speaker of this session. Sir, I welcome you to this virtual platform of ISGS. We have our co-founder and past president of the Federation of Jain Association in North America, Jaina, Dr. Sulekh ji. Sir, I welcome you to this platform of ISJS. We have our academic advisors, Professor Prakash Chand Jain ji. We have our advisor, Dr. Narendra Parsan ji. Sir, I welcome you both to this platform of ISJS. We have Abha ji from Delhi. She has been associated with ISJS for a long time. We have many distinguished personalities and scholars from various parts of the globe. Miss Corina Luher, scholar and researcher uh, of Indic yogic tradition. We have so many persons. I mean, Dr. Anupam Jas, he is also associated with ISGS for a long time. We have Biko Pema Nandaji from Singapore. So I welcome you all to this 26th online lecture by International School for Jain Studies. I welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pandey, for this warm welcome. And now I would request our speaker, Professor Tiwari ji, to start his lecture.
Thank you very much. I'm really grateful for ISJS for this opportunity. Of course, it's a rare opportunity to be online with the friends and sharing my views on a very typical subject, Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī. Who was he and how was he could attain that exalted position, which was almost sometimes at par with the Tirthankaras, the highest in Jain worship. And also, I'm happy to find the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Joshi ji, Prasad ji, and all other friends. So Bāhubalī, who is also known as Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī or Gommaṭeśvara in southern tradition, especially in Karnataka, was not a Jain or a Tirthankar. But still he occupied an exalted position in Jain tradition, and so in visual manifestations, visual expressions means the art. We are going to look into why it did happen so. Why was Bāhubalī, who was merely a Kevalin, he was the son of the first Jain Rishabhnath or Adinath out of 100, and Bharat was his elder brother. Actually, in southern tradition, the tallest image, monolithic image of Bāhubalī, Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī, is at Shravanbelgol, Vindhyagiri, 983 CE, which was built by Chamundarai, and whose epithet was Gommat. So Lord of Gommat means Bāhubalī became Gommaṭeśvara. And he was the army commander of the Ganga ruler Rajmal. But how could he visualize to have such a gigantic image, even to surpass the height so far as the images are concerned? Because height also suggests something. More height means more deep veneration. So how deep was the veneration and why it was so? we are going to look into. And it was a pan-Indian feature when I have made a survey and study, and also an UGC project was there on Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī. His name is not included in the list of the 63 Shalaka Purushas, the great men. Neither he was a Jain. He was merely a Kevalin. Because he was embodiment of the Jain principles of deep austerity, renunciation, that is tyag, aparigrah, that is non-acquisition, and ahimsa, non-violence. He was given such an exalted position. How? Because the images, the visual images suggest and distinctly show how and to what extent the respected honorable position was assigned to a particular character, particular personality, or Shalaka Purush, who was not a Shalaka Purush. I have noticed independent images of Bāhubalī at a number of places in North India, South India, and also noted that in Karnataka almost, and even in Maharashtra, Ellora, a cult developed around Bāhubalī, independent cult. The tallest of the images of Bāhubalī are found from different places in Karnataka. Venur is there. Then a number other places, Karkal, Dharmasthal, and the tallest, as we know, Shravan Belgol. And at Ellora also we find a number of images in Jain caves. And their position also is suggestive of something which is very remarkable. I will discuss it. Just outside the cave, in the mandap, on one side we find Parshvanath undergoing different upasargas or inflictions caused by Kamat or Meghamali. And just opposite in the other mandap, we find the image of Bāhubalī. Bāhubalī, who was the son of Rishabhnath, ruler of Takshashila, and once, because of the aspirations of Chakravarti Bharat to become Chakravarti, there emerged a fight between Bharat and Bāhubalī. The story is very important because the stories are not merely stories, but they have the very concept, the very psychology, which is very important. And when the war was to be started, Bāhubalī proposed that let us not have a military war between the armies. Instead, he proposed to have a duel and through that decide who is the victor. Therefore, it is the first example to my knowledge of no war theory. Means the ahimsa. The hinsa which was destined to take place in course of war. So in duel, when Bāhubalī was going to win, and it was decided that no one in between Bharat and Bāhubalī will use any weapon. But Bharat, when he saw that he's going to lose, he used the disc weapon, chakra. And on this point, when Bahubali was on the verge of victory, he was taken aback that the kingdom or the state or Rajya is so important that even a brother is not able to keep his commitment. And the entire idea of the futility of these worldly affairs and things came to his mind, dawned his mind. And he immediately decided to renounce the world there itself and performed a rigorous austerity sadhana in Kayosarga Mudra for complete 1 year. And he was so absorbed in tapas that he was not aware that the creepers are entwining all his body limbs. The texts like Adi Purana, Harivansh Purana of Jain, they said those Lata Valleri or creepers being Sarvanga Sangini. Wonderful word. And not only that, the dreaded creatures like snakes, scorpions, lizards were creeping on his body. But Bahubali remained absorbed in deep meditation, unshaken, unperturbed. So that deep meditation height up ahimsa. And at the point of victory, the idea of renouncing the world with aparigrah, total aparigrah, made him the embodiment of all the virtues, all the important points which are being prescribed, which are being mentioned in Jain texts. And he became an epitome of all these ahimsa, aparigraha, tyag, sadhana. And being an epitome of that, even without being a Tirthankar or even one among the 63 Shalaka Purushas, he came to be worshipped. He became an object of worship because of the virtues, because of the points, the principles he was embodying. I have just told. And the result was that from 6th, 7th century CE, we find that the independent images of Bahubali was carved at different places. It started first in Karnataka, from Badami, then Aiholi, and then I have told Karkal, Venur, Dharmasthal, and finally 983, 58 feet high, monolithic image of Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī at Shravanabelgol. Then at Ellora, about 15-20 images. On one mandap Parshvanath, other Bāhubalī. Here also, because it was not arbitrary. Whatever was done in art was well thought, well perceived, and with reasons. Because Parshvanath also was the symbol of highest point of tolerance and deepest austerity, who was enduring all the inflictions caused by Kamat or Meghamali, dreaded inflictions, but was unshaken. And on the other hand, Bāhubalī, being merely a Kevali, was standing in Kayosarga in tapas and was unconcerned, did not know what is happening with his body. The entwining creepers all along his body. The snakes, lizards, scorpions just creeping on his body. Means the sadhana. So the similarity of the basic concept of the deepest sadhana made the artist to think of having on one side Parshvanath with Upasargas and on the other side Bāhubalī. Then at Devagad in Uttar Pradesh, Siron Khurd, at Khajuraho, at Bilhari, and not only at Digambar Jain sites, also in the Shwetambar tradition, also we find. In Shwetambar tradition, we find at Shatrunjay of 14th century, at Kumharia, at Dilwara, but as compared to the Digambar sites, we find less number of sculptures or Bāhubalī in the Shwetambar tradition. Maybe because of the austerity or tapas in which he was standing sky-clad. Maybe. So, how his position was elevated because of the virtues I have just discussed. The virtues which were prescribed in Jain text, Jain tradition, which are the core of the Jain tradition. And happened what? That Bāhubalī was not only shown in Kaisarga Mudra, the exclusive posture which was used for the Jain Tirthankar images. One. Severally, he was shown with the Shrivas mark in the center of the chest, which was to be shown with the Tirthankaras only. Also, sometimes he was provided with Trikshatra overhead, 1, 2, 3, symbolizing the Triratna, Samyak Gyan, Samyak Darshan, Samyak Charitra, which is again the core of Jainism. Because whatever we know, then we should understand that and then translate it into our action. Then it is meaningful. So the main thing is not only knowing, understanding, but its observance. And therefore it is shown above the head of the Tirthankaras in the form of the Triratna. So how beautifully, through certain symbol, triple parasol, they have given a very, very good depiction of the basic idea also. And also, sometimes the Yaksha and Yakshi, which were to be shown only with the Tirthankaras, and the Ashta Pratiharyas, the lion throne Simbhasan, the Chamardhari Sevak, fly-whisk wearing attendants, triple parasol, Prabha Mandal, hollow. Like that means all the paraphernalia which were associated mainly with the Tirthankar images, gradually associated with Bāhubalī, with the increasing respect and deep devotion towards Bāhubalī because of his sadhana, ahimsa, aparigraha, and all the qualities. Therefore, he became the model for all of us. Like what we have in case of Ram in Vedic tradition. Maryada Purushottam, best of the human being. So Tirthankaras are destined to be Tirthankar. It is prefixed, predetermined. But what about Bāhubalī? He was merely a son, and only due to his his qualities, virtuous qualities, he gradually elevated and got respect and devotion in the mind of the worshippers. So he became a model for the common man in Jainism, Jain text. Yes, we cannot become Tirthankar. But here is a model, Gommaṭeśvara, Bāhubalī. Even being a common man, we can also have, by way of following those paths, we can also attain an important position and also lead towards what is our ultimate moksha. So here is a model. Another thing is, which is very important, we are so much concerned about the ecology nowadays. How to sustain it? We have destroyed ecology, and now the nature is taking the, I must not use the word revenge, but it is annoyed, and its action and reactions are causing just damage and devastations. So entire world is concerned. Jainas very, 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 very intelligent. Right from the very beginning, they knew it, like the Vedic people also, because all the deities are mostly the personification of different aspects of nature. They are related with nature. So in Jainism, what they did, all the langshanas of the Tirthankaras, some animal, some tree, like that. Every Tirthankar attaining Kaivalya under some tree. Ecology. They did never show their Tirthankar riding an animal, but they were shown as langshan. It is also very, very significant point. Because even riding an animal amounts to himsa. So that way, Bāhubalī image is the most important example of the coexistence of man and nature, or man with nature, or nature with man. If we do not make any harm to nature, snake is there, lizard is there, yes. The creepers are there. So both the flora and fauna are associated with Bāhubalī. That is also very, very meaningful. And he become a symbol of that coexistence. Because now time has come when we should think in terms of past, not only for details, knowing the details, but also what purpose they can serve today. Their meaning today, their utility today. So this is the first message. And second message is, anybody, common man, we lay devotees, through the path of austerity, aparigraha, ahimsa, tyag, can lead to that state where we can go ahead towards the moksha, and then we can become the model for the society, as was put by the Jainas, Jain texts, Jain art, in the form of the Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī. So that was very, very, very important thing. Another thing is, I will explain. Yes. Another thing is the difference. Usually, there is a difference in the Shwetambar and the Digambar texts. The Shwetambar text, like Vasudeva Hindi, Avashyak Niryukti, and Prishashti Shalaka Purush Charitra of Hemachandra, 12th century. They speak of that when Bahubali was standing in Pratima, Pratima means the Kayasarga, static, both the hands hanging down, standing straight. That was the exclusive posture of the Jainas, Tirthankaras. And despite the fact that the creepers were entwining, the snakes, lizards were creeping, he could not attain omniscience or Kevala Jnana. Because he was still having a little pride in him of what he was doing, conscious. Then Rishabhanath, his father, asked his two daughters, and means the sisters of Bahubali, Brahmi and Sundari, to go to Bahubali and just remind him of the fact, to shake off, to drop that pride, so that he could attain Kevala Jnana. And accordingly, the two sisters came, Sadhvi sisters, Brahmi Sundari came, and reminded Bahubali. And then Bahubali immediately attained Kevala Jnana. Therefore, in Shwetambar images at Shatrunjay, early 14th century, Kumharia, 11th century, Dilwara, 11th, 12th century, we find on both the sides of the standing Bahubali the figures of the Sadhvi sisters with folded hands, requesting to just shake off the pride. So this is what Shwetambar texts say. But in Digambar traditions, Harivansha Purana, Adi Purana, then Chaupanna Mahapurusha Charyam, Gommaṭeśvara of 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th century, they say when he was in trance, sadhana, with entwining creepers and snakes, lizards, two hovering damsels, Vidyadharis or Khechari, the text says, Khechari or Vidyadharis, they were going from above the sky, and they saw a Muni in deep sadhana and saw that all the creepers are there and they have covered the Muni in sadhana. They came down and gradually removed the creepers so that he is being relieved of that problem. Therefore, in Digambar tradition, in the images from Devagad, with a very prolific site, Khajuraho, Siron Khurd, Ellora, the two sisters are not shown in Digambar text, but two Vidyadharis wearing the crown, jewels, beautiful in appearance, are shown just holding the end of the creeper as if they are removing it. So most earlier scholars confused, and they said, in all the cases of Shwetambar Digambar, that they are the sisters. No, sisters are to be in the garment of sadhvis with folded hands, while Vidyadharis wearing mukut and all other ornaments are shown with all the mukut and other ornaments and looking very beautiful. So these are the difference, and this should be understood. A temple of Bahubali was also made during the Hoysal period, 12th century, at Shaman Belgol, Chandragiri. Shravanbelagol, one side is Vindhyagiri, on which we find 58 feet high image of Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī. And on the other side is Chandragiri. A number of temples we find there. There we find the temple dedicated to Bāhubalī. And not only that, the Gommaṭeśvara, Nemi Chandra, contemporary of Chamunda Rai, who built that, caused the installation of that 58 feet high Shravanbelagol image, caused the carving of colossal image of Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī as Shravanbelagol, also makes stuti of Gommaṭeśvara. The text in 8 verses makes stavan, that is adoration, means divinity, the point of, he has reached the point of divinity, and almost equaling the Tirthankaras, as I have shown all the features of the Jain images were associated. This is how, which was not prescribed in any of the texts, but it was the people, it was the society who had given Bāhubalī such an exalted position because of the reasons I have explained. The best would be to associate all the features which are associated with the Tirthankaras to raise and just elevate his position. Adoration of Gommaṭeśvara, image of Vindhyagiri, and gives its physical features. Beautiful. Gommat was the so beautiful Kamadev. So beautiful. It says that Gommaṭesh with radiating spiritual and physical beauty. The spiritual is very important. You should know. One beauty is physical, the face, the eyes, and another is the way one stands, one sits, cool, calm meditation, and then emits, or the radiation is that of the spiritual beauty, which is more important than the persona, the physical. He stood sky-clad with snakes and other animals and entwining creepers. He is visualized as remover of evils and free from pride and having no ill feeling against elder brother Bharat. No ill feeling against his elder brother Bharat, who hurled the disc weapon on his, just violating the commitment, the words, the promise. And another point is that I would show just now, that how in sculptures, when Bāhubalī was about to attain Kevala Jnana, with creepers, all that, and scorpion teeth, deep meditation, then Bharat came as Chakravarti ruler, because he became Chakravarti when Bāhubalī renounced. And he bowed to the feet of Bāhubalī. And here comes the Bharatiya tradition, Indian tradition of is the worldly, the ruling, the power at the feet of the spirituality. I am not, today I don't have, I have seen, and you must have agree with me, that Mrs. Indira Gandhi, when she came to Varanasi, she was the Prime Minister, and she sat near the feet of Mata Anandamayi, not even equal. Even the president I have seen, President of India, standing before Shankaracharya. So that is the core of Bharatiya Sanskriti, Indian culture. The spirituality, the renunciation, he becomes. Because we talk of our President Kalamji. Why? We don't talk of everybody, whosoever be there. So these are the perennial points which are being discussed in the Jain text tradition and which are being visually represented in the art. And Harivansh Puran talks of, Adi Puran talks of how the creepers, how the snakes, lizards just covered the body. Now I will go through the visuals quickly. Visuals, please. This is the first, you see this. This is the 58 feet high Shravan Belgol Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī image. Just from looking from a very distant place, Chandragiri. See. Next, please. Next, I have covered this. I have covered this, please. Yes. Here you see. I have discussed, this is Aiholi, one of the earliest image of the Digambar tradition. These are the Vidyadharis. The mukut, the beautiful features. They are the hovering damsels who came down to remove the entwining creepers, just holding them. And here it is from Shatrunjay, the Sadhvi sisters, just raising one hand as if requesting to just shake off the pride whatever he has. Shwetambar. Next, Digambar. Next. This I have covered. Next, please. Yes. Earliest image, Badami. You see? Creepers, snakes coming out of Bambi, anthills, the two Vidyadharis, and here sits Bharat. Bharat. Aiholi, two Vidyadharis, Digambar, sky-clad, Aiholi. Next, please. Next, please. Now, Ellora, a number of images. You see, Tirthankar is there, Yakshi is there, and also in the midst we find Bāhubalī, and in the with the greater space provided. These creepers and the end of the creepers held by the Vidyadharis. And hovering Maladharas are there. You can just see. Next. Yes, Bharat is here. And here Bharat is shown with his queen, spouse. Next, please. Again, Ellora, a number of images. You have Bharat, Vidyadharis, and triple parasol. 1, 2, 3. Here, now you see, the Vidyadharis are here, hovering Maladharas are there, and not only like the Jain images, the small Jain figures are also put in the Bāhubalī images. You see. Next, please. Ellora, 9th century. Yes. Metal image, it is in the Prince of Wales Museum, perhaps from somewhere in Karnataka. Just you see the beautiful. Here, like Rishabhnath, the hanging hair locks, beautifully done, are also shown. Because in course, with the passage of time, he was standing for 1 year in austerity. It developed. And the creepers. So creepers done in a very different way and artistically enhance the spiritual beauty of Bāhubalī. And here is an image. It is in the British Museum, 16th century. Scorpions, snakes. You can yourself see. It is in the Metropolitan Museum. Almost these all have gone from here itself. We know how many images are there in foreign museums. So it is 14th century. Creepers. Next, please. Yeah, wonderful. The Harivansh Puran and Adi Puran calls that while standing Bāhubalī, he became a Shantamurti. The personified peace. He was standing, you see. The best and the tallest 58 feet high creepers. The snakes, the anthills are there. And not only that, the entire body is Shant, but you see here Shant, the back is Shant, even the genital organs, the face, all the limbs, entirely. Bāhubalī is perfect in peace and to become the Shantamurti. And here is a gold image, which is called Utsav Murti, which is being taken out in the days of processions and some other mahotsav. And next, please. After every 12 years, we have Mahamastakabhishek, where the President of India, the Prime Minister, and what not, they all just join, they attend and get the blessings from Bāhubalī. So Bāhubalī, being merely a Kevali, could attain that exalted position to command respect and devotion of the entire, not only Jain community, but even beyond. So the virtue can never be confined to a particular sect. And here is an example. Next. Yes. Another image, it is from Shravanabelgol. It is in the temple. A number of temples are there. And it is in Kambadhalli, a few kilometers away from Shravanabelgol. Just you see the hair locks and the creepers you see. The spiritual beauty you yourself can appreciate. Next. Yes. These are the images. This is the Karkal, 15th century, 1412. 35 feet, 40 feet high. This is Venur. This is Dharmasthal, all in Karnataka. Almost a cult in Maharashtra at Ellora and in Karnataka developed. So just you think that a person who was not a Tirthankar, who was merely a Kevali, because of what could attain that exalted position. That is very important. And that is the message. Next. That even the Chakravarti Bharat sits at his feet and pay homage. You see, Moodbidari, Karnataka. And from other place, Mysore. Next. Now, in North India, Devgarh, you see, the two Vidyadharis holding the creeper ends. As per the Digambar text, the snakes, lizards, scorpions are there. The snake is here. The Prabha Mandal is there. The Trikshatra is there. Here you can see all the Ashtapratihāryas, the lion, the Dharma Chakra, the Trikshatra, the Prabha Mandal, the fly whisk bearing attendants, And Bharat is sitting at the feet to pay the homage. So royalty at the feet of the spirituality. It was the ethos of Indian culture, Bharatiya Sanskriti. Next. Yes, from Devgarh itself, it is in Lalitpur district of Uttar Pradesh. Now here comes not only that the features, insignia or Ashtapratyaharias of the Jinas were associated, but Bahubali is represented with the Tirthankaras. Two are the Tirthankaras and the third is Bahubali. Tritirthi image, you just see. Now completely at par with the Tirthankar. No text mentions. So sometimes the society decides, but nothing violating. It was the elevation of the virtues or the ethos, cultural ethos, which was embodied by Bahubali. And here comes Bahubali again, Devgarh. Here are the figures of Yaksha and Yakshi also. Next, please. Gwalior, Khajuraho, Parshvanath Jain Temple, 10th century. Then Bilhari, Jabalpur district. Creepers, so beautiful. All the features of the Tirthankar images. It is Gwalior, just you see the creepers. So here also you find the aesthetic features, the body features, the physical beauty is there, but more important was the spiritual beauty. Next. Yes, it was in painting. Jaya Dhavala, Mahadhavala is a painting of 12th century you find. Digamba tradition. So it is the Vidyadharis. Here Shwetambar tradition. So are the Sadhvi sisters Brahmi Sundari. And more important is a beautiful wall painting which could be seen in the ceiling of Ellora Jain cave, cave number 32. So with this, I end and just suggest that Bahubali was a very unique concept the Jainas have given. And they have mentioned them right from the 1st, 2nd century CE, Paumacharya of Vimal Suri. From there, continuously we find his references with some differences in Shwetambar Digamba traditions. And so also we find in art, and in art we find with the features of the Tirthankar images. In art we find a very apparent suggestion of that he is the symbol of the coexistence of man and nature. With this, I conclude. Thank you very much. And if questions, I would really be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. This was a wonderful, wonderful talk. My mind is brimming with questions, but I would request our audience to raise hands if they have anything to ask.
Pragya ji, there is a question in chat box.
There is a question I can see Sharmila ji is asking why Bahubali did not become Tirthankar.
Because Tirthankar was destined, because Jainas had to give a model to the society. Tirthankaras are the models that we should worship them, we should observe what they do. But we cannot reach that point. It was possible only through any such character like that of Bahubali, who was not a Tirthankar, but still like Maryada Purushottam Ram. We can become Ram. We cannot become Vishnu. We can never be. So Ram, because he is a human being. So it is easy to follow a human being, and if the idols are put through the human personality. That is why.
Meena ji also has a question.
Jai Jananda. I just wanted to add to the professor's this thing. तीर्थंकर नाम कर्म होना चाहिए ना, तो ही तीर्थंकर बनते हैं. So, and secondly, I was there just last month to Shravan Belgola and in Karnataka, and in Artipura, they say that is the only sculpture in that is a Digambar this thing that they have found with Brahmi and Sundari, the statue. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Where?
Aratipur, sir.
Aratipur.
Aratipur.
No, if the Bāhubalī is standing sky clad,
Yes.
the figure can never be of the Brahmi and Sundari. Because it was only in the Shwetambar tradition as prescribed by Avashyak Niriyukti, Trisashti Shalaka, Purush Charit, and all other Shwetambar texts. So it was in actually most of the scholars were taking all the figures to be of Brahmi and Sundari. They have mistaken.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
It was me who could find the texts, and then I could identify. And you can yourself see. The Vidyadhari, they wearing the mukut, and Sadhvi will not wear those things.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much for the clarification.
Thank you. I have a question here. Anupam ji is asking. No, Rajesh ji is asking. Bahubali images are prevalent in Karnataka before Chamunrai and later. Are there inscriptions how and why he was elevated into exalted position?
No, in inscription, I don't think it was mentioned. But this is to be understood because I have read that Stuti, Chamunda Stuti.
Mm-hmm.
There he mentions because of the virtuous qualities, the qualities which were imbibed in the Tirthankar images.
Mm-hmm.
Seen in Bāhubalī, of no war, ahimsa, just renouncing the world at the verge of when he was the victory. So something very difficult now. When you are going to get everything, and then you decide to renounce. So he became a model, ideal model.
Mm-hmm.
Not only for Jainism, a Jain society, but entire humanity.
Mm-hmm.
No war theory. No, we are not going to have the fight of the armies. But
All
in
right.
I am not aware. But in subsequent inscriptions, they are mentioned. Up to 10th century, not.
Okay, I have time for just one more question. I'll ask Mr. Pradeep to ask his question.
So I just got one question. Basically, we see a lot of munis who have been standing for so many years, months. But why only Bahubali's murtis we see climbers or snakes?
Why Bāhubalī's Murti?
Why Bahubali's murtis only etched with climbers and snakes, etc.? Why not other munis also? Because there are so many munis who have stood for months and years.
Yeah, munis are there, na? Actually, this is a social model. They have put it. There are not so many Ram. Ram is one. So the ideal will be one. And now it is to be followed. So munis are there. But do you think that they get that point where the creepers climb all through bodies, snakes start count? Very difficult. Just imagine it, na? How can it be a very common feature? But it is an ultimate, it is an ideal, and then it was put before the society to what extent you can just go. How many steps you can write. That is the point. So not In no Muni or Acharya figure I have seen such. It was only with the Bahubali images to make it a unique example.
Okay, cool.
Pragya ji, take a last
हाँ,
question from
yes,
Sharmila ji.
yes, शर्मिला जी, शर्मिला जी.
बहुत ही अच्छा लगा, बहुत मतलब इट वाज अ ग्रेट एडेड टू द नॉलेज. सो आपने बताया कि ऋषभदेव भगवान ने ब्राह्मी और सुंदरी को भेजा उनको ये कहने के लिए कि वो अपने ईगो को या
Harboring some
जी
pride, just remove it.
प्राइड टू रिमूव इट. तो ऋषभदेव भगवान तो ऑलरेडी तीर्थंकर हुए थे, तो डिटैचमेंट मतलब आफ्टर ही बिकमिंग अ तीर्थंकर मतलब डिटैचमेंट प्रिंसिपल आ गया. तो वो टाइम पे मतलब ये लॉजिकली थोड़ा मुझे मतलब आई मीन आई हैव नॉट अंडरस्टूड द इंटरप्रिटेशन कि ऋषभदेव भगवान ने मतलब एज अ सन, क्योंकि बाहुबली उनके बेटे थे, तो उन्होंने अपनी बेटी जैसे वो सफेद कपड़ों में साध्वी जी थे, दोनों ब्राह्मी और सुंदरी, तो क्या ये मतलब डिटैचमेंट होने के बाद इस तरह से जाना या आई मीन ये थोड़ा सा इंटरप्रिटेशन वुड लाइक टू अंडरस्टैंड कि वो तीर्थंकर होने के बाद कैसे उन्होंने मतलब he shown interest or this attachment to the son.
नहीं, मतलब तीर्थंकर के लिए, ऋषभनाथ के लिए आप कर रही हैं?
हाँ, जैसे सर आपने कहा कि ब्राह्मी और सुंदरी को भेजा ऋषभदेव भगवान ने, तो तब ऋषभदेव जी भगवान को तो ऑलरेडी वो तीर्थंकर बन चुके थे, तो तीर्थंकर बनने के बाद ये मतलब वो तो फिर पूरे डिटैच हो जाते हैं तीर्थंकर बनने के बाद. तो उन्होंने ब्राह्मी सुंदरी को मतलब आई डोंट नो, दिस इज वेरी लॉजिकल, थोड़ा सा मेरे दिमाग में आया कि ब्राह्मी सुंदरी को उन्होंने भेजना.
नो, तीर्थंकर होकर के what happens to become a तीर्थंकर, to have the केवल ज्ञान, one goes to the place in isolation. And after that omniscience, all they come back to the society to give, because they have to give what they have earned. You would never find that the Tirthankar once were just thinking about themselves only after attaining the Kevala Gyan. There was no need to come back to the society. They came to the society and they thought, yes, here is a person, although he is my son, but because of certain pride, he is not able to have the Kevala Gyan. So he asked. So nothing attachment. There is no point of attachment. That was the betterment, and it could be of anybody.
Okay.
Okay. So there are many interpretations, many ideas, and many things that bind Bahubali still to us. Thank you so much for all your questions, comments, and suggestions. And thank you, Tiwari ji. Now I would request our chairperson, Professor Prasad Joshi ji, to come ahead and give his remarks.
Namaskar. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Sorry, my camera is not working on laptop, so I
No
cannot
problem.
show my face anyway. So, very honorable Professor Maruti Nandan Tiwari, who is eminent scholar on the Jainology, study of Jain studies, and especially the art history. Today, I think more than 1 hour, we were rendered almost spellbound through his very important lecture, illicit lectures, and we were taken back into the history of Jainology. It was very important to know many facts from authority like Professor Tiwari. We know that Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī, situated in Shravanbelgol, Karnataka, and considering the significance of this image, the tallest image, what are the embodiments in that image, everything was very lucidly brought to us by Professor Tiwari. So on behalf of all the participants and myself, first of all, let me express our deep sense of gratitude towards Professor Tiwari. And the importance of Gommaṭeśvara is that there is a inscription also, Sri Chamundaraye Karaviyale, Gangaje Suttale Karaviyale, near the image. And of course, this inscription is very, very important because it is the ever first Marathi inscription written in script near the several well-known image of Bāhubalī. So, lot of historical importance is attached to the image. Thanks for your observations and making us know many facts that who was Bāhubalī actually. Certainly he was not a Tirthankar. Still, how he occupied very exalted position in the Jain tradition. Naturally, he is not enumerated in the 63 Shalaka Purushas, 360 Shalaka Purusha Charita, the biggest, grantha, treatise that we have, and also its appendix, Sthaviravali Charita, the well-known texts are there. But Bāhubalī is not regarded as Shalaka Purusha. But this is very significant that he has achieved that very respectable position in the tradition, despite not being a Tirthankar, neither a Shalaka Purusha. It happened only because of the great renunciation, Tyaga, Aparigraha, Ahimsa, that he achieved very high position. And the creepers growing around his body, what it goes to suggest nothing that his deep penance, deep sadhana, what very rightly Professor has illumined us on the greatest contribution, the greatest amount of that level where he has achieved that. So the creeper around his body very beautifully depicted in the art, visual art, and that was very important for us to know. Again, the Ratnatraya being depicted in a very good form in the image. The Prabhamandala, the Chamaradhari Sevakas, and other peripheral things associated with the Tirthankara that is shown with Bāhubalī. All this was very interesting to know from the speech delivered by Professor today. More importantly, how high respect for Bāhubalī was there. Your analogy with Maryada Purushottama, that really has helped us to understand the character of Bāhubalī. We cannot become Vishnu, but we can become Ram. And exactly this parallel is there. Tirthankar is the thing, very, very ideal of the idealists. But for common man, there has to be something achievable, something which he can envisage to become. And that gap is filled in by the personality of Bāhubalī. So references to Adi Purana, Mahabhurana, and other Digambar traditions. Most importantly, the difference between the images of two sisters that were shown and not shown, and two damsels, Vidyadharis, that was very unique for us, very important for us to know so far as the study of iconography or this artist is concerned. So thanks for these observations also. And across India, we find images of Bāhubalī in Aihole, in Badami in 6th century AD, Ellora 9th century AD, And all these places, many interface, the differences and the similarities, that was also very important for us to know from authority like you, sir. Metal images in museums, it was very important for us to see some pictures. Most importantly, sir has drawn our attention to the fact that figure of Bahubali, image of Bahubali is peace personified. It is a Shanta Murti. It is a Shanta Murti and beautiful both physically and spiritually. But we must understand that everything depicted goes amount to personification of peace and nothing else. I think this is the living tradition that we come to know from you, that Mahamastaka is being performed every after 12 years. So it is not something, happening in way back in history, but still the importance is continued. Even higher authorities, Prime Minister, the Rashtrapati, they also visit and pay reverence to that. So this is the continued tradition of respecting Bahubali. And every 12 years, after 12 years, we have this Mahamastakabhisheka. Cultural ethos, Devagad, and other things also to know that very important, and other places like Khajuraho. That all brings the complete picture of Bahubali depicted in art history, visual art everywhere in India, various parts of India. So certainly Bahubali has given, through Bahubali, the Jain tradition has given us very important concept, right from Pauma Charita, maybe some differences with Shwetambar and Digambara, but this carries very central, very crucial importance in the tradition. And it is not only, it's not restricted to Jain tradition alone, but the importance of Bahubali is spread across Jainism. And this was very new for us, very important for us to know from authority like Professor Tiwari. So you have profusely added to our understanding of Bahubali through image, both his, I mean, the how one should look at the iconography, the art history. Probably this lecture has given us a model. So I'm profusely thankful to Professor Tiwari. Strictly speaking, I am not a scholar of Jainology, neither a scholar of archaeology, but editing Sanskrit dictionary, we have ample Jain texts. All these um, both narrative and dogmatic books, granthas, they are included in the corpus of Sanskrit dictionary being edited at Deccan College. So while editing the dictionary, we have to come across and we have to deal many texts, concepts, some important facts from art history of Jainology also. So this really is, we are really benefited. We feel highly privileged, highly honored. So thanks to you, Professor Tiwari. And let me thank Dr. Srinetra Pandey also, who is coordinating from the side of ISJS with Deccan College. And you all are aware that we also have Jain Chair in Deccan College. And we look forward for extended collaboration with all of you. And again, it's very, I feel very, very happy today. And thanks to organizers, Prajna Jain and others also for taking every type of initiative in organizing this lecture series. And let me wish that this lecture series goes on this kind of delivering lectures which are eye-opening for ourselves and common people and scholars also. So thanks to all. I'm very, very, very obliged. I'm very, very happy. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Um, uh, if you want to return to the lecture, yes, the recordings will be available on our YouTube channel. And now I request Dr. Naveen Srivastava to come ahead and offer the vote of thanks.
Thanks, Pragyaji. Respected dignitaries, esteemed colleagues, dear students and friends. It is my proud privilege on behalf of the organizing committee to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks At the conclusion of today's memorable lecture on Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī, personification of Jain principles and message. First and foremost, I express our deepest gratitude to Professor Maratinandan Prasad Tiwari ji. His lecture has been a journey into the spiritual and artistic grandeur of Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī. He has illuminated us how this magnificent feature is not merely a marvel of sculpture, but a living embodiment of Jain principles, renunciation, equanimity, and victory over the self. His words have reminded us the Bāhubalī salient meditation continues to speak across centuries, inspiring humanity to rise above ego and embrace compassion. The analogy of Ram as Maryada Purushottam further enriched the discussion and deepened our understanding of the subject matter. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your enriching us again and again with your valuable insights. We are equally honored by our gracious presence of our chief guest, Professor Prasad Joshi ji. Your encouragement and thoughtful reflections have added dignity and depth to this gathering. Your support strengthens our resolve to continue nurturing a scholarship that bridges philosophy, culture, and contemporary relevance. I extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Sulekh Jain ji, Dr. Narendra Parsan ji, Professor Prakash Chandra Jain ji, Ms. Ahwa Jain ji, and many other distinguished individuals whose names I am unable to mention individually here. Their contribution and support has been invaluable. I convey my deepest appreciation to each one of them. A special words to appreciation goes to our participants. Your attentive presence, full engagement, and curiosity have been given true meaning of this occasion. It is your enthusiasm that keeps such academic and cultural endeavors alive and vibrant. I extend my sincere thanks to our organizing committee, includes Dr. Srinath Pandey, Dr. Ashok Singh, Ms. Pragya Jain, Mr. Harshit Mishra, Mr. Sushil Jana, and Gopal Kudle, whose dedication and planning ensured the smooth conduct of this program. Thanks to all. As we conclude, let us carry with the timeless message of Gommaṭeśvara Bāhubalī, peace, restraint, and universal compassion. May these ideals guide our actions, enrich our lives, and inspire us to contribute to a more harmonious world. With gratitude in my heart, I thank each one of you once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Naveen ji. And so thank you, Tiwari ji. Thank you, Joshi sir. And stay tuned. We will come back with more such topics, more talks, more discussions. See you soon. Thank you, Jai.